The development of applied linguistics. The development of applied linguistics is a fascinating journey that intersects language, culture, psychology, and education. Is a field born out of the practical need to understand and address real-world language issues. As early as 1970, applied linguistics became a problem-driven field rather than theoretical linguistics, including the solution of language-related related problem in the real world. By the 1990s, applied linguistics had broadened, including critical studies and multilingualism. The development of applied linguistics. How important is the field applied linguistics developing? Applied linguistics provides tools to analyze and understand these complex language situations and helps develop effective communication strategies that respect linguistic and cultural diversity. It also important in development of language policies and planning in the organization and government agency. What is the main focus of applied linguistics? Applied linguistics definition studies and usage of linguistic knowledge, theories, techniques to address real-world language-related issues and challenges primarily areas to focus language teaching, language assessment, bilingualism, translation, sociolinguistics, language policy, and forensic linguistics. What is the theory of applied linguistics? Applied linguistic theory posits the language is not primarily a model of representation of some textual truth, but interpersonal communication, not historical knowledge, but information to be exchanged. What is the most important contribution of applied linguistics? Applied linguistics contributes significantly to language teaching by providing insight into effective methods, strategies, and tools that foster successful language learning. Teachers can benefit from the research finding and practical recommendations to improve practice and address teaching challenges. What is the difference between linguistic applied and applied linguistic? The key difference between linguistic and applied linguistic is that the linguistic is the scientific study of the structure and development of language in general or of particular language, where applied linguistics is the branch of linguistics focusing on the practical application of the language studies. What is the influence of applied linguistics on language teaching? According to the result, applied linguistic teaching theory may raise the student desire for learning, which may boost the efficiency with the which they acquire a second language. What is the role of applied linguistics in translation? It combines the theoretical base of this discipline with professional practice. For this reason, applied linguistics gives way to practice the translation, the theories in the many aspects via different disciplines. Translation is the act of transferring meaning within a set of language scenes to another language sign. What is the relationship between applied linguistics and education? Applied linguistics recognize this dualistic endeavor in education, that is the emphasis on language spoken and written, and as a medium tool for a learning, as well as language content, genres, vocabulary, and grammar, as curriculum content to be taught, learned, and assessed. How is applied linguistics different from English literature? Linguistics is better for analyzing Language literature is better for analyzing novels, plays, poetry, and short stories. Is applied linguistic is a branch of linguistic. Applied linguistic is a branch of linguistic where the primary concern is the application of linguistic theories, methods, and findings to elucidation of language problems that have arisen in other areas of experience. What is introduction to applied linguistics? It is concerned with the problem, the process, the match, mechanism, and the purpose of language in use like any other applied discipline. Applied linguistics draw on theories from related discipline in which explore the professional experience of it. What are the major branches of applied linguistics? The major branches of applied linguistics include the five fundamental of linguistics, how they are acquired and how they are taught. They include phonetic, phonology or morphology, syntax and semantic. Took some practitioners combine phonetic and phonology into one category. They are actually separate. What is the characteristic of the applied linguistic? Applied linguistic is concerned with the role of language in people lives and problems associated with language in use in people lives. Applied linguistic is a branch of linguistics that involves in the identification, investigation, and providing solution for real life issues relating to language. What is the nature and scope of applied linguistics? Applied linguistics provides the theoretical and descriptive foundation for investigation and solution of language-related problems, especially those of language education, first language, second language, and foreign language, teaching and learning, but also problem of translation and interpretation, lexicography. To get a better understanding of applied linguistics, consider its primary area of focus: language teaching and learning, language assessment and testing, bilingualism and multilingualism, translation and interpreting, sociolinguistic, language planning, and policy forensic linguistics. Importance of applied linguistics: English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world, making the study of applied linguistics highly significant and encompasses several key areas of research, including language learning and teaching, language assessment, testing, and language policy. Some reasons behind the importance of applied linguistics include improving English language teaching methodology strategies, understanding the challenges and barriers faced by English language learners, and developing appropriate solutions, contributing the establishment of fair and reliable language assessment framework, studying the impact of English as a global language policy and cultural dynamic, explore the use of language in various professional, academic, and social contexts. Commonly encountered applied linguistic example. Number one, language teaching. One of the most prominent examples of applied linguistics. It is role in language teaching and learning. Teachers use as principle, methodologies, and insight from applied linguistic research to design effective lesson, create engage activities, and assess student language progress. Number two, language policy and planning. Government, educational institutions, and other organizations often seek input from applied linguistic expert when making decisions about official language, language education policy, and preserving endangered language. For example, nationwide language policies can be informed by applied linguistic research on linguistic diversity, language maintenance, and social integration. Forensic linguistics in legal setting, applied linguistics, and analyze linguistic evidence in criminal cases, helping to identify the author of anonymous text, deciphering coded message, and determining the meaning and intention behind language used in legal disputes. Applied linguistics is not easy defined because people will think of many things when it comes to applied linguistics. In fact, those who practice applied linguistics do not agree upon a certain definition. Therefore, there is a gap that needs to be filled in terms of defining applied linguistics. The definition problem is due to the lack agreement. What is there to be applied? A mediation between theory and practice, Kaplan and Widowson, synthesis from a variety discipline, including linguistics, as Husson said, presupposition of linguistics because person cannot apply what he does not know as coder implied. In addition, extreme area of applied linguistics that is called critical applied linguistics highlight the following concern and issue like identity, ethics, disparity, desire, and the reproduction of the otherness that have not been up to now considered to be connected to applied linguistics. What have been mentioned in an attempt to use applied linguistic concern and activities to explain and analyze what applied linguistic method and purpose are. This is called the ostensive definition approach. Okay, thank you.